Firing. Near corner. It's caught! Touchdown, Alabama! Isaiah Bond!
Take 5, it's time to reboot. Duck, goose, I don't need to choose.
Lillard, long range three. With 5 seconds to go. They gotta pay attention to the clock. Gillen. Unbelievable! No time left. Eagles win.
That one's drilled to left field. Is it high enough? See ya! A walk-off grand slam! And the Yankees win! Judge hit 60, and the Yankees win in walk-off fashion!
And with 3 seconds left, Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds, 1 second for the win! LeBron James delivers! That's a winner in Cleveland!
Hallelujah. Take 5, it's time to reboot. Duck. Who's winning this? I don't need to choose to the room.
And it's dropped. And it's picked up by Will Hill. Will Hill runs down the sideline. Hill's gonna get a block. Will Hill is gonna win the game on a blocked field goal. Not a mismatch. Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Kemba does it again. UConn wins at the buzzer.
My mom taught me to move your feet while I was here. Now tap dance kicking ass like this FIFA.
Oh, what up? How we all doing this fine Friday evening? You seen we have the full 5. We're going to get them back, but right now we're rocking with a quick 4. Welcome into the Fifth Take Podcast, where we talk all sports. You know us. You know Stino, the hoop head. You know my man Chris down here, who finally got his wish this week. Shedeur Sanders is starting the game. And you got our main man in the corner, Clifford Tarno. Go check him out everywhere. He is a funny man. So, fellas, let us start. And I seen Chris texted yesterday about the game. He picked the Texans. I'm not even going to front. He picked the Texans, everybody at home. So let's start with you, Chris. What did you see that made you do that?
I remember in several games that when Josh Allen usually has some struggles, is usually when they have pass rushers that can track him down. Fortunately for the Texans, they have 2 of them, and they made his life just a horror movie in that game. They were literally hunting him down every snap, trying to just get hits, fumbled, like try to strip sack, even almost got a pick. So when you see Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter on the edges, and one of your tackles is injured, yeah, you're gonna be, trying to make plays, trying to get outside the pocket, just trying to, create so your guys can get open. And unfortunately, those 2 guys don't allow you a lot of time. So that was the reason why I picked them. And plus the back end, they force fumbles, they get picks, and they did both last night.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. We sat up here a couple of weeks ago talking about the Buffalo Bills after I think they lost 2 in a row earlier in the season. And we all had the same thoughts before the trade deadline that they're missing some pieces. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that they address those pieces moving forward. I would go as far as to say that the Buffalo Bills are failing Josh Allen, and they're wasting the better part of his career now, which is going to be his best, but most productive years coming up. Let's get over to these other guys here. Stino, what do you think? What's going on with these Bills? Are the Texans for real? Where are we at?
Yeah, I don't think the Texans are for real yet. They still got to correct some things with that offense, bro. That offense is still an issue. I think it's been looking better under Davis Mills for whatever reason. I don't know what the hell it is, but Davis Mills got the offense looking better than what it was under CJ, I think. But I think with that Houston defense, though, man, if they could just be somewhat consistent on offense, they could be a scary team to face in the playoffs. Very scary team to face in the playoffs. The Bills, on the other hand, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if it's an offensive line issue. I don't know if it's a Josh Allen issue. I don't know if it's a internal issue. I don't know what it is, man, but I know one thing. One of their better receivers and first round pick in Keon Coleman not being on the field for, all because he's coming up late to a meeting or whatever. That's that's something concerning too, both for him and the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think that game showed more that Buffalo's got more to fear than a lot of other teams right now, man.
Yeah, if you go back and you look through some of the stats, guys that have produced throughout the year kind of didn't produce for Buffalo. You know, they finally were starting to get Tyrell Shavers involved. He didn't have a catch last night. Keon Coleman doesn't play because it shows up late to a meeting. And it really showed, because when your next options are like Curtis Samuel and Elijah Moore, this ain't 2015.
Right.
No, that would have been great 10 years ago or even 7 years ago. That would have been a great supporting cast. But unfortunately, with what they have now, they really, in my opinion, screwed the pooch on bringing in some kind of receiving option that can get down the field. And they tried it with Mecole Hardman. First game, he gets injured. So they're trying their best. Clifford, talking to some Bills fans, I've heard a lot of talks back and forth. People are saying, get rid of Judge, bring Daboll back. Do you think that's a viable option? Do you think he will go back to an OC position?
OC, yes. But that's about as far as that dude should go. I've said it for years, and it finally happened. Daboll needs to be fired, and he's not going to be a good head coach anywhere. I do think he got a lot of credit for Josh Allen, who's a top 4 quarterback in the league and has been since pretty much the day he came into the league. I think he got too much credit for Josh Allen's talent, because Josh Allen has talent. He might have helped here and there, but in my opinion, Daboll gets way too much credit for the talent of what Josh Allen has.
I think if there's any anime fans out there, if you watch like Naruto or anything like that, it's like a chakra type thing, is that Josh Allen always had the talent. Daboll essentially opened up the pathways for him to use it, kind of molded him into what he is today. But he always had like the physical abilities, the natural talent, as I like to call it. You know, guys can come in the league and naturally be good, and then they get a coach along the way, like a Brian Daboll, or who's the guy up in Minnesota with the quarterbacks. They did it with Sam Darnold last year. He was doing it with quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that dude can be that dude's a head coach, though. I mean, he can head coach, right? He's proven himself as a head coach. Brian Daboll, not so much.
I think what he did for Josh Allen, it showed after he got hired by the Giants. And there was one key difference. Josh Allen wasn't turning the ball over at such a high clip up until, I believe, Joe Brady became the offensive coordinator. Now what happened is that now the pieces that he had when he was with Brian Daboll are now gone. They don't really have a deep threat like that that's reliable. So now it's the defenses are just looking at him in the run game. And because you don't have anybody to push the secondary back, make them back off, because everything is kind of going, across the field, nothing really vertical. These teams, after about 6, 7, 8 years, they start to get the blueprint of how you put your cape on. And that's what's happening with Josh Allen right now. You see it with Lamar Jackson. You see it with Josh Allen. These guys that know how to scramble, they know how to make plays. They have counters now. And then some of these teams, a lot of these teams, they get the guys that can execute those counters and, not neutralize, but just put a cap on how dangerous they could be in the offense when they start to create. So I will say they didn't fix anything because they needed someone reliable that can stretch the field that would get the DBs to back up. But I don't, as much as I don't like what Keon Coleman did, but I think having a big target that can possibly just jump ball somebody down the field was probably something they needed last night.
Yeah, and that's my bad. I said Judge earlier. I meant Brady, Joe Brady. I don't know why I was thinking Joe Judge for whatever reason, but I don't know about you guys. This is the most Monday, Friday that I've had in a while. It just seems
bro.
You was thinking of bad coaching by the New York Giants.
Yeah, I just have a list on the side of the screen here of all the bad coaches. I just mixed them all together. So I don't really want to get into the games ahead right now, but I think something that we've discussed previously that is important to bring up again is this MVP award. In recent years, it's been the quarterback award. Where do we see it going this year? Strictly from an MVP perspective, the most valuable player on a team. We'll start with Stino because I have a feeling I know what he's going to say, and I'm in the same boat, so I want to go with Stino first.
First and foremost, you three at least. Whoever may be watching. I know we probably got some guys from TikTok and whatever watching, but whoever may be watching that don't know. These guys can vouch for me when I say I'm not a biased person, right? Especially when it comes to sports. But I think Jonathan Taylor is the clear-cut MVP this year. Let me not say clear-cut because I do think Matthew Stafford is definitely making this a very good MVP race between a running back and a quarterback. So that being said, I do think Jonathan Taylor does deserve this MVP this year, man. If you're looking at just strictly the value that he brings to the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, we've seen it a couple times this year. That when you take him out of the game for whatever reason, however you're able to do it, whether it be penalties, thanks Adonai Mitchell, or whether it be just play calling, not giving him the ball, you're going to end up losing the game. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the true meaning of value when you're talking about the MVP award. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you take Matthew Stafford away from that team, the offense may not be as explosive, but I think you're still going to be able to be competitive and win a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with the Colts, if it was Amir Abdullah as the full-time running back instead of Jonathan Taylor, granted our offensive line is pretty damn good, but Amir Abdullah is not going to be able to do what Jonathan Taylor is doing back there. And we're definitely not going to be sitting at 8-2. We'd probably be closer to like 5-5 right now. So that's where I'm gonna rest of that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And what sells me on Jonathan Taylor the most, and I think this is the difference between like the Saquon year last year and the Jonathan Taylor year this year, is that games where Saquon got taken out of the game last year, they still were able to win games. And maybe that was the defense. Maybe that was Jalen Hurts just having a one-off game. Whatever it was, the games that they've taken Jonathan Taylor out of the game this year, 45 yards, 56 yards, whatever the stat line is, anything under 60 or under 100, the other team has a chance to win. And that's where I think, like you said, the value is most important, is that he carries that whole offense. You're looking at the number one or close to the number one offense in the league, if not the number one offense in the league. He's got by far the most rushing touchdowns. He consistently is putting up anywhere between like 145 and 225 rushing yards, barring a couple games. And then those games, like we said, are the games that they lose as a team. To me, that is the highest value you can have in any player. And unfortunately for him, he's a running back, so I don't know if he'll even get any votes. He should, but we'll see. Chris?
I have a top three, and one of the three is gonna surprise y'all. It surprised me when I gave a thought about it. One, Matthew Stafford. I think it's kind of been solidified to me as far as like he should be a top three just because of the simple fact that he's still executing with this offense to some degree. Yes, they have a great run game for the majority of the season, but Puka Nacua has been out, and ever since week 2, he's gotten better connected with Devontae Adams and shown in the field, shows in the stat sheet. And another one is Drake May. We got to start thinking about that one because no one really saw Buffalo coming out of the gate like this, and the kid has been playing. He's been playing some pretty great football. When you look at everything with the Browns, once he started so once he got on fire, it was crazy to watch. If you was a Cleveland fan, it was tough to watch them put 30 up on y'all like that. And this is with Myles Garrett still getting 5 sacks. So and then you have Jonathan Taylor. Everybody already addressed that part. If he doesn't hit 100 yards, they're probably not going to win the game. So, and it's shown throughout the season. He doesn't go over 100, they don't win. Those are the games they lost. So, I think those three we need to look at as like the three guys that are the MVP favorites. I'm not saying Jordan Love I wouldn't say Jordan Love because of the fact there was games that against what we thought was weaker competition, he didn't really show up that well. And there was many others that when Baker Mayfield being one, the injuries, he's been kind of hampered because of the injuries at the wide receiver position. So it's right now it's Stafford, May, JT. That's about it.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm right there. I do have another guy. I want to hear what Clifford has to say. Clifford, we're kind of just going over, your favorite for the MVP right now.
Man, to be honest, it's so hard to pick out a clear MVP in my opinion right now. This year, man, football's been weird, bro. Football's been really weird. I really think, man, I kind of hated the fact that Nakua's missed some games. I thought he could have been like the second receiver to take it, or Mbuku with Tampa Bay being, a rookie that might get it, plus rookie of the year or something. I don't know, man. I don't have a quarterback in mind other than, honestly, even though he's had a bad game, Jared Goff really might be the first year that he's, looked at. I mean, he's always kind of overlooked, right, as, in my opinion, as a top quarterback. Never really understood why, but, it is what it is. But his stats are decent. If it wouldn't have been for the last 2 weeks and the offensive performances of the Dallas Cowboys, or the last 3 weeks, because last week was decent, but the 2 weeks before that, hell, Dak Prescott was definitely in that conversation. I guess if I to go with another quarterback, even though he's had a bad week or two, is Danny Dimes. Like, legitimately, the dude's numbers are pretty decent right now. So, I don't know.
I agree with you though.
Yeah,
It's definitely been I think it's definitely been one of those seasons.
It's been weird, right?
Yeah, there's never. There's not been nobody really running away with anything in particular. Whereas, award wise and everything like that. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. Everybody,
if you go off the last year or the last 2-3 years even, and you take your top 5 players from just, your running backs and your quarterbacks and your wide receivers, the top 5 looks nothing like the top 5 from the last couple of years. It really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just talking about like right now, what their standings are, what their performances are. We're not talking like, Patrick Mahomes is still that number 1 quarterback until he's not, right? It's just, man, it's weird.
It's like it's like opposite day in the NFL for the whole entire season. The guys that we keep going, oh, they're MVP favorites. They have these terrible games, like 2-3 games after that, and then it's like, what the hell? We just gave you the flowers and we just dropped them on the floor. And so that's what's happening. And my thing with Jared Goff, to what you were saying, Cliff, he does get, like, I would say sometime in the middle or the beginning of the season, he gets recognized for his play. And they be like, hey, you think Jared Goff's an MVP candidate? And then he has this one game that just goes, yeah, just a little bit too soon. And then he just falls out of the whole race no matter what he does for the rest of the year. And that's what's been happening. We would talk about Baker Mayfield. We would talk about Josh Allen. We were talking about Jared Goff earlier this year. Now we're talking about Matthew Stafford, Drake May. The only thing that's been consistent is Jonathan Taylor. Everybody else has been playing musical chairs when it's come to this MVP consideration.
Yeah, I don't disagree on the Jonathan Taylor, man. I think he actually, I mean, now that you say that and I think about it, it's a good possibility that he could have the MVP, right? I think he's got the best numbers for a running back right now.
He's been the most consistent.
I mean, he had a decent game last night.
See, it's like what three?
And I'm just saying, man, the last non-kicker to lead the league in scoring, I do believe, ended up winning the MVP. I'm just saying.
These quarterbacks keep playing hokey pokey with this MVP consideration, man. It's gonna go to the running back.
Yeah. Hey,
you put your name saying, right bro. In. You take your name right out.
I'm just saying, bro. Don't let JSN creep up on that 2,000-yard mark. Because these quarterbacks these quarterbacks keep playing mid. JSN might sneak into that conversation as well, bro.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Especially if he starts adding some touchdowns with them yards too.
Because he's the league leading receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I think he is. It's
already over 1,000.
Yeah, he's got 11. I want to say 1146, if I'm not mistaken.
He does.
He's almost averaging. That's crazy.
He's basically 2 games ahead of second place.
Yeah,
he's averaging almost, I think, over 100 yards a game. They had a bye week, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's averaging 100 yards a game.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Just the touch. In case did y'all mention any of the Jonathan Taylor stats right now?
No, we did not currently. No.
So this dude is at 1,139 yards on 189 attempts for 6 yards a carry average, 15 touchdowns. His longest run of the season already is 83 yards.
He's had.
That's just his rushing.
He already broke the franchise record for the Indianapolis Colts in rushing touchdowns, and that was before the trading deadline.
Here you go. He's had 32 targets receiving. He's caught 30 of them.
Yeah.
He's averaging 8.67 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns, breaking one for 43 yards. The dude is, I mean, those are some solid ass stats. And we still have what week are we in? 11 or 12?
Week 12.
Hey, you know what? Another thing that's not really going to pop up on that stat sheet too, Cliff, and I know a lot of us really kind of look deeper when it comes to the running backs and to some of them other fields that's not just carrying the ball. If I'm not mistaken, Daniel Jones is the number 1 or at least a top 5 blitzed quarterback in the NFL. Last time I checked, now granted this was a couple weeks ago, but last time I checked, he was being blitzed on like 61 to 63% of his dropbacks.
You want me to tell you how many times Daniel Jones has been sacked so far this year in 10 games?
I think it's like
21.
Yeah,
21.
Yeah, 21 for like 156 lost yards or something like that. But one thing about Jonathan Taylor that a lot of people don't look at, man, Daniel Jones being one of the most blitzed quarterbacks in the league. Jonathan Taylor's probably one of the best blocking linebackers or blocking running backs in the NFL right now, bro. He's great at being able to pick up a blitz, really lay his body into the defender coming in on and stuff like that, bro, and giving Daniel Jones that extra second or half a second in the pocket to be able to make that read and make that decision, man.
All right, so another quarterback we mentioned was Drake May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a few stats on his because this makes me say no to Daniel Jones. Drake May right now has a percentage completion of 71.9 for 2,836 yards.
Yeah,
he's got 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The dude has been sacked 36 times.
Yep.
I mean, you got to give like 5 or 6 of those to Myles Garrett. But
Still. Damn. 36 times he's been sacked in 11 games. Holy shit.
That's over 3 sacks a game.
Over 3 sacks a game. Oh, damn, it just got dark.
Hey man, we had a comment from our guy Peter, man. Said is Caleb Williams, is he playing like a top 15 quarterback this year? What y'all think?
You know what? Let's find out for you there, Peter. I love the question. We'll find out right now for you and see how it is.
He has to be more consistent. In my eyes, he has to be more consistent.
Sure. You know, I don't disagree with consistency, right?
Chris, one thing I've really liked seeing from him the past few weeks is how he's been playing in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? He's led some fourth quarter comebacks, led some game-winning drives and stuff in these last few weeks. That's made me be like, okay, give it another year or two under Ben Johnson. Let that relationship get stronger. And Caleb Williams might be a very dangerous quarterback here in the next couple of years.
So, Peter, I hate to break your heart, but absolutely not, sir. He is not even playing like a top 10 quarterback. Now, Caleb Williams has had some pretty damn amazing throws and gains and has been helped out a lot by his receivers. But this dude, his completion percentage is at 59.7. He's only thrown 13 touchdowns this season, 4 interceptions, and he's been sacked 16 times. He's not playing top 10 in my. Well, I mean, with you know what? Let me rephrase it. He might be right at 10.
He said top 15 though.
He said top 15.
Oh, this top. Oh, yeah, 15. I'll give him top 15 for that. Yeah, my bad. I thought it was 10.
I think he's easily 15. Easily top 15. You could make a case for 10. I think where a lot of that like incompletions comes in is he is very good at throwing the ball where like just his receiver can get it. So they're not broken up passes. They're passes that maybe he threw a little bit too far over the receiver. So they're not bad.
No, he's had some great ball placement this year. Pause.
That's what I'm saying. Is like he just overthrows where he needs to throw it. So he makes the right decision. He throws to the right guy, but he just overthrows that spot. I think that's a lot of his completions are. He's not getting pressured. He's just, he's not stepping into it right. Maybe he's not twisting his hips. I'm not a quarterback coach. I can't tell you exactly what the mechanics are.
I will say this. There's some adjustment on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams' part. It's showing something that makes the combination a bit more troublesome for a defense, because what we know Caleb Williams for, creating, making a cut here, making a cut there, making a throw to somebody deep down the field. And what I've been seeing on a consistent basis is if pressure comes and you're able to get upfield, see if you can make a throw. And if not, you're going to just go straight upfield. Don't go backwards. Like we don't want to be behind the chains. Pick up yards as much as you can. If you can make a throw, but get yards, get upfield. And that's something that I think Caleb Williams has changed his game, because usually it's, I got to juke here. I got to buy time, back up a little bit, see if someone comes open. Now the game, he's getting upfield, he's getting yards, and it's preventing them from being behind the chains a lot. So that's part of the reason why that sack total's only 19, because he probably has like 1 or 2 times a game where you think he's dead to rights, he breaks it, and then he's running for like a good 4 or 5 yards, maybe even the first down.
Hey, so I'm here recently. I've been using a lot of CBS Sports. And this is the first time I've clicked on their stats button, and it's actually a really nice stats page. It's kind of cool. So did y'all know that right now Lamar Jackson has the best passer rating out of all quarterbacks?
Yeah,
I can believe it.
He's only thrown 1 pick, I think, 16 touchdowns.
3. He got 3 picks after that Browns game. He got picked up.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think both of those are tipped too.
So it lists the top 5. So is it all right if I take time to just run through this real fast?
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
So passing yards real quick. You have Drake May, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes, top 5. Passer rating right now, you have Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, top 5. Rushing yards, you have Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Devon Achane, Rico Dowdle, and Javonte Williams. That's kind of nobody expected to hear that name in the top
Yeah,
5 already.
definitely not. No Derrick Henry, no Saquon. Yeah, no Josh Jacobs. Yeah,
Remember the statement earlier. The top 5 for these is not your normal top 5 right now.
It's not.
All right,
Sure.
Not for today.
receiving yards.
It gets
This is kind
crazy.
of weird too. JSN number 1. George Pickens is the number 2 in receiving yards right now. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Drake London. Scoring. This is kind of new to me. I've not really ever seen this, but the top scoring athlete in the league right now: Jonathan Taylor, Cameron Dicker, Jason Myers, Fabian, and then Brandon Aubrey coming in 5th. That's kind of weird. All right, this is the one that kind of blew my mind a little bit. I didn't realize this many sacks had actually. I mean, we're week 10. We still have 7 or week whatever it is. We still have 7 games left on some of these teams, right? Myles Garrett has 15 sacks at this point.
Yeah.
Brian Burns from the Giants has 13 sacks right now at this moment. And then 3rd and 4th place are both Texans. Daniel Hunter, Will Anderson. One with 11, the other one's 10.5. Rounding out the top 5 is Nick Bonito. I think that's how you say that.
Oh, Bonito.
9.5. Bonito, there you go. At 9.5 for Denver. But dear Lord, there's some sack numbers this year, isn't there? Holy shit.
Oh, you want to hear a crazy sack stat? Denver has such a lead in team sacks that if you put Myles Garrett on the 2nd place team, they still would not catch them. They are, I believe they are 15.5 sacks above from 1st in team sacks to 2nd in team sacks.
So 2 more stats I want to cover real fast. One of them is interceptions. You have a team that has 3 members of that team in the top 5 for interceptions. You have Texans are only on there once. You got Kevin Bird, with the Chicago Bears, Callan Bullock with Houston. You have Tremaine Edmonds with Chicago Bears. You have Devin Lloyd with Jacksonville, and you have Deshaun Wright with Chicago Bears. Holy shit, that's pretty decent. And then tackles. One dude's got 125 tackles right now in the season. That's Jordan Brooks, Miami. Bobby Wagner, Washington. Cedric Gray, Tennessee. Devin White with Las Vegas. And Bobby Okari or something like that. Yeah, my bad, dude. Sorry. Love you long time, though. But yeah, all right. Those are some pretty cool little stats, man. I kind of like this little stats page like this. I mean, and you can open up each one of these sections, guys. We're not affiliated with CBS Sports, but you know, check them out. It's, most people like to use NFL.com. CBS Sports page is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, they're similar to ESPN's. If you haven't looked at ESPN's, they do a very similar.
This is a whole lot easier than ESPN's, though. Like it really is. This is nice.
Right. I'm just as surprised that it was top 3 for the Bears. I know Edmonds, Kevin Byard. I think Kevin Byard is like I think he's the league leader in picks right now.
5 interceptions, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Everybody else has 4.
Yeah, but right. I think that's one no one thought was going to happen. But then again, you have a 6'4" corner.
13 interceptions, bro. Combined total on Chicago right now is 13 interceptions just in the top 5 people. There are 3 spots in the top 5 for interceptions. That's pretty damn impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Chicago to me this year has been one of those teams. Like, if they make the playoffs, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round.
Dude, that defense. I don't know if they're getting a whole lot of sacks or anything, right? Because I mean, they're not on a sack leader by any chance. But I think they've got to have the top secondary in the fucking league. Got it. I mean, there's no other way to go about that. That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie, pretty impressive.
I think they're the league leader in turnovers. I think the best secondary as far as yards. I think that's Houston.
I'm not gonna disagree.
but that's a Dennis Allen defense. you
Hey,
can have all these yards. We want the ball.
yeah, it's amazing, man. It really is. It's kind of neat. I really am liking this page though. That's pretty nice.
Like the Chicago Bears, aren't they? Are they number one in the NFC North right now?
Ooh, let's check that out.
Aren't they like 7-3, 7-2?
Give me 2 seconds, sir, and I'll answer that question for you. In the
Yeah.
NFC, your number one ranking is 7-3, Chicago Bears. Green Bay 6-3, Detroit 6-3-1, and then Detroit is 6-4. Minnesota is 4-6. I just want to make a statement that I called Minnesota be in last place in that division this year. I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
You was right about
To your
JJ.
mother. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. No.
I totally understand, Cliff. But you know what? Somebody said that Chicago was going to be number one in the division. There's going to be a change of the guard. Who was that fella? Handsome fella with some beard. Top right corner. I don't know who that guy is, but he knew what he was talking about when it came to them. I'm
I mean,
am I doing a little bit too much of this? Because
I'm down with it, bro. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so I did say that they could finish in the top two. I personally, I called Detroit having the number one spot and Chicago at number two. I called them at 10 wins this year. And I said in the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to have the same situation that Detroit had when Dan Campbell came in, right? They had the parts and pieces and they struggled for 3 years. Really and truly, they only struggled for 2. It was that year where every game they lost was within one possession, and most of them were within 3 points. And then they finally jumped that hurdle. You're going to see Chicago. Detroit's not out of it. Green Bay's not out of it, right? We still have 7 games, okay? Chicago's fixing to come into the toughest part of their schedule. It could turn around. I'm not saying it will, but it could, right? Because, again, as we looked at the stats for Caleb Williams earlier, the stats for him are not showing that he's throwing a lot of touchdowns. His accuracy is a little low. Now, he's not throwing a lot of interceptions, right? But we could see Chicago come down a notch. So, but it's, kudos for them. They're leading the North right now. It's pretty damn awesome. Not going to lie, it's pretty damn impressive. And right now, to be honest, in the NFC, the only 2 teams that don't seem like they're on paper, right, when you're looking at, what rankings they are, the only 2 teams that seem like they're not really struggling right now is Philadelphia and Chicago in the NFC. Everybody else kind of seems to be struggling a little bit.
The craziest thing when you looked at Chicago, when I looked at Chicago early in the season, I looked at, and you got to give props to dude, got to give props to Ryan Poles. As a GM, when you look at the roster for the most part perfectly fit both sides of the ball when it comes to who's calling plays. They had 2-3 tight ends when the season started. They got Smythe, they got Loveland, they got Komet, they got 2 running backs.
They got Swift still.
Kyle Monangai is showing up big, a 7th round pick. And then on top of that, they got speedy linebacker play for the defense. They got a secondary. And the craziest part is their best corner really hasn't played a lot this year. And so when you look at what they got, what they've had over these past couple years, like the GM played a huge role in that. We give credit to Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. They just needed to gel. They had everything perfectly in the place. It's kind of like you're gluing together a puzzle, and the first couple weeks was just them waiting for the glue to dry. And right now, they're a big problem just because of that alone.
Yeah,
and I think Nashawn Wright should get a better deal because he's going against a lot. He's going against some pretty good dudes, and he's holding his own. 6'4" corner is not easy to go against as a receiver.
Question for the panel. Can I be a homer for just a second? I had to look what Dak's stats were real quick. I'm not mad at
After the
this.
7-on-7, after the
Look,
7-on-7 burst the
look.
Raiders.
He had 2 games. I want to, even with the 2 poor games we played offensively, right? He's at a 69.9 percentage, 25 of 87 on yards. He's averaging 7 yards a throw, which is better than last year. Like when we were dunking and diving and everything, and he was down below 6 yards. He's got 21 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and he's been sacked 16 times. Passer ratings, the passer rating is 102.5 right now. I'm not mad at that.
I was going to mention that when we were talking the MVP thing, is if the Cowboys can right the ship defensively and they can go and win a couple more games, and Dak continues to do what he's been doing,
except for those 2 games,
he could be in the conversation, and it wouldn't be, oh, he's putting up garbage stats and garbage time, and they're empty calories or empty stats, whatever. They would be legitimate stats to win games down the stretch and potentially make the playoffs. With Overshown coming back, the trade that they made for the linebacker, the trade they made for Quinnen Williams, I think they could potentially win a lot of games. And I do think a lot of the times the panel or the voters, or however you want to portray them, they look at, what teams are doing well and then also what players on those teams are doing well. Very rarely are you going to see a quarterback, even if he leads the league in passing. Let's look at Geno Smith, for example. Leads the league in passing 3 years in a row, plays on the Seahawks, has an okay record, not considered for MVP. So I think Dak, if they can somehow figure out a way to right the ship, keep that offense rolling, and he keeps doing what he's doing, he will have some votes. Maybe not first place votes, but he will have some votes in the conversation.
One thing I haven't done yet?
He cannot have any more games where he's just off. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what kind of knocked him out of the MVP voting as of right now. It's just like every other quarterback. Like that's not, that's when it comes to this. It's just they're in there. We're like, yo, the way this dude's balling, it's crazy right now. They have a 1 or 2 bad games, and then it's just like, wow, we put him up there and he's not looking like that. So I just think he can't, in order for him to get MVP, if he's able to take it from, 3-6-1 and somehow make them a playoff team, I mean, he'd be in consideration for it. If they, I think they have to win out, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sorry, real quick. 4-5-1, sir.
Oh, 4-5-1. But you know what I'm saying. They have to be, them in the playoff contention.
It definitely matters, right? That 3-6, versus a 4-5. It matters right now because at 3-6, yeah, you pretty much have to win out. Not to make the playoffs, but to try and win your division. Oh, you better win out and hope fucking the Eagles go into a stretch of losing games. So
but it's anybody's chances right now for majority of the NFC, because everybody's like either 6-4 or 5, 6-4 or 5-5. It's anybody's game right now, and Dallas is still in it. But if he was able to get them out of like the brink of not making the playoffs to being in the playoffs and having a pretty good seeding, yeah, I think he should be considered.
Wait,
and I don't like Dallas, and I'm saying this. I don't like Dallas, and I'm saying I got to be honest in the game. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't really had any calorie yards type of games for the most part. Like, I think the only one you could possibly say that some others will reach is the Broncos game. Other than that, the games they lost have been close.
Mm-hmm.
Except for that in Chicago, but we ain't gonna talk about Chicago.
The first game of the season, what did we lose by with the Eagles? Like 4 points?
Why we ain't gonna talk about Chicago, Chris?
The Chicago and Dallas Cowboys game?
No, Chicago beat the shit out of us.
I ain't trying to throw shots. I'm not. I'm just trying to be peaceful. I'm being cool today.
All that has to be said is Chicago showed up, did what they had to do, and went home. That's it.
I didn't realize Dallas got 4 sacks against Vegas.
So I kind of like what we did last week. We didn't necessarily go through every game, but if looking at the schedule, is there one game on this schedule this week where you say, okay, this team, it's a definitive win, or it's a, where an underdog wins, an upset win? Is there one that you see this week that could be considered that, with the exception of the Texans game last night?
My
Folks,
game.
got names.
My game with the Texans.
I got Arizona beating Jacksonville this week, man.
I don't have that. I like your pick. I don't have that completely as an upset for me because I think Jacksonville's a bunch of frauds.
Well, yeah. I think we're all on agreement with that one. You feel me?
But I think all 4 of us know why.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
I was throwing some thoughts in my head earlier this week, and I was thinking, okay, at the end of the season, Jacksonville ultimately fails the season. Trevor Lawrence is not the answer for them. And we've seen in previous years, Sam Darnold goes to a different team, he does well. Daniel Jones goes to a different team, he does well. Do you think it would be worth it for either Carolina or Jacksonville to take a flyer on the opposite quarterback? The way I look at it is Jacksonville trades Trevor Lawrence to Carolina for Bryce Young, and the Panthers throw in like a 4th or 5th round pick in 27. And that
you trying to go from mid to mid-er. Like,
yeah, you can't. He can't go to a bad team from a bad team to a bad team, bro. It's not going to help him. That's not going to help either one of them.
That's second place in the NFC South bad team.
Listen, bro.
It's because
this is a weird fucking year of football. This is a weird ass year of football.
This is a year the Panthers made the Super Bowl. We all know that whatever you want to call it.
Shut that.
Scenario.
No. That's not happening. No,
we're not doing that.
Bryce Young has had his best game of the year, and he's always guaranteed his. He's probably won when he goes off, and then after that, it's been back to mid. You go. He has to be consistent for that to happen, and we haven't seen it.
Based purely off of what your record shows or what someone's record shows, I'd say the upset of the week, if it happens, would be the Bengals over the Patriots is my choice number 1. But because of the fanfare and the 8-2 Eagles versus the 4-5-1 Cowboys, if the Cowboys pull this off at home, everybody's going to say it's an upset.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So
yeah, I'm leaning personally. I'm looking at the Raiders against the Browns. I think this is a game where you can still expect Myles Garrett to get 4 or 5 sacks.
I'm calling 6 right now, baby. I'm calling 6 right now.
He is going to be in that backfield, but look at the last game that he got 4 sacks. They still lost the game.
The Cowboys got 4 sacks against this. No, Myles Garrett's getting 6.
He may have 20 sacks by week 12. I'm sorry, but this is like when you stack your team on CFB 26 and you load the sliders on pass blocking. That's what it's looking like for Myles Garrett right now. This man may actually have an insane number, like 35 sacks by the end of this season.
What's the record? What is the record?
22.
What's the record? 22 is the record? Oh, he breaks that bitch this year. He breaks that bitch this year. There's not a chance of he's got 7 games to get 7 sacks. We're 22. Shit, done.
That record's gonna be like 30 or something.
Done.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. That record's gonna be 30.
Even though Myles Garrett is gonna get his, I do think somehow the Raiders are gonna put something together. The plays where Myles Garrett is not in the backfield, they will throw something together. They'll be able to at least stagnate that.
Shador's starting, right? Shador's starting, right? No, I'm taking the Browns on this game. I'm taking the Browns on
I
this
just
game.
don't think Shadir's got. I think it's going to take another week.
No,
I think Shadir is the better option, but I don't think that he hasn't gotten first team reps at all. Then he gets thrown to the wolves in this last game. He looked horrible. He's getting 1 week with the first team. He might be better, but I don't think he's necessarily going to be on the same page.
Can I
real
say
quick,
something?
sir. Just real quick.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
That last drive, he looked like he was adapting to the speed. He looked like that
give me 2
third
seconds.
quarter, he was a deer in the headlights because they blitzed the hell out of him. But when he got time, he's able to give the receivers a ball that they can catch. I mean, that last one in the end zone, it wasn't the best decision because he had Judy for the first down, but the ball placement, it just shows that if you give him the reps and he can build a little bit of chemistry, he can be better than what he was last game. So I'm going with the Browns too. It's just I don't think he's gonna go off and have like a 350-yard game and 3 touchdowns, but probably like 201 with no pick, possibly no picks. That
Hear
Browns
me out
defense
real quick.
going to pick up Geno Smith like 2-3 times. I know
What quarter? What quarter did he go in?
the third quarter.
Third quarter, right? Dude only threw the ball 16 times. Dude was pressured a whole lot. He got sacked twice, right? Now look, yes, he was only 25% on his throws. Okay, understood. Not great, but understandably, right? So here's what gets me though. His rushing 5.3 yards. It's decent. It's not horrible.
It wasn't like spooked rushing. It's not like the pressure came in and he got scared and took off.
Right.
It was
calm. Thought out.
Methodical. Yeah, it was. I'm with you. After the conversation we had last week, I do think Shadir should be on this field. I'm hoping for his sake that he is up to speed for this whole game. Because if he is, the Browns will probably dominate. If any type of pressure with Max Crosby or any part of that defense can get in the backfield and fluster him even the slightest bit, the game will be close.
Oh, Max Crosby's going to get sacked. That offensive line for the Browns is horrible. But what I would say is when you look at that last game, look up Kurt Warner's breakdown of that game. He does the all 22s. He breaks down the route, the combinations, where he could have did better at. And he literally said the stats he said to him, his opinion, the stats are deceiving, but he did pretty good with what he had with a team that blitzed him in a crazy way. They were sending Kyle Hamilton up the middle with the slot corner coming from the outside, and everybody was twist stunting. It was crazy. And you have no reps with the offensive line. They never heard your cadence, and you expect that. It's not just that.
But look how bad that offensive line has been with Dylan Gabriel, right? The offensive line has not been fucking great, right? So I think this week of practice, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm picking the Browns. I really am. I think Shedeur Sanders might have a chip on his shoulder with something to prove, and I hope he fucking goes out and proves it. I'm picking the Browns. All right, sorry, off my soapbox. All right, go ahead.
Honestly, if I had to do a second one, I might be on the Chris train for this one. I think the Saints, this might be the week that they can put enough together to beat that Falcons team because we've gotten a decent, I want to say, let me go back and look just so I know what I'm talking about. I want to say we've had
Michael Penix out for the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Penix is out for the year. Yep.
You know, the Falcons lose to the Panthers in overtime, but they put up a good game. They put up it was a solid game, even when Michael Penix went out. Yada, yada, yada. And we've talked about it week in and week out. What Falcons team is going to show up? We've had a couple weeks of a good Falcons team, and now you're without your quarterback. I'm not going to say your star quarterback, but you're without your quarterback. Kirk Cousins hasn't played a snap besides last week in a year and a half or something like that. He's going to come out. He's going to be pretty bad. I think that this is the week. If I'm going to take the Saints, it's going to be this one.
I don't know. I honestly think that's going to be a low-scoring game because I don't think Tyler Sugar really is going against a defense like Atlantis. They flow to the ball. If that defense shows up, it's going to be a problem. They're a top 10 defense for a reason.
Mhm.
And them rookies on the edge, they're getting better. They're doing it's becoming more consistent. They get to the quarterback, and when they get to him, at least one time, that ball's coming out. It's been happening a lot these past couple weeks.
I ain't mad at it.
I was kind of hoping we'll try to save this for when Stino gets back. I kind of want to go into the NBA a little bit, but we can always save that for Tuesday.
How LeBron's becoming a role player now, and he's not having a problem with it.
Oh man!
Hey, real quick, until Stino gets back, can we touch on some hockey a little bit?
We can. I'm not gonna lie; it's probably gonna be all you, but
so we're roughly like 32 to 35 games into the season, depending on or I'm sorry, no, 22, about 22 games into the season, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Detroit has kind of come out of nowhere to lead the Atlantic. It's kind of takes me back to the 90s, right? The Detroit Red Wings used to be it was between them in the 90s. You had Colorado Avalanche in the 90s, and you had the Dallas Stars. Like those are the three times. Well, you had the Rangers too, but like the big three.
Mike Modano,
right? Those are the big three teams.
Devils.
They were more into the 2000 series. Once after like 99, they started kind of kicking off, but they were more along the lines of the 2000s, right? But like in your center, go ahead.
Who was that goalkeeper for the Red Wings back then? I remember he was pretty good.
Oh my goodness, I would have had his name too. Patrick Wall was from Colorado was Patrick Wall. In the 90s, and then in the 90s you had Eddie Belfour and Marty Tarko for the Stars. Turco, damn, who was it for? Hashman or something?
Your goalie's name is Patrick Wall. He was destined for that. I'm sorry.
Oh. It's a French Canadian ROW.
I think it's ROY.
ROI, thank you. ROI, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say, hold on.
But I'm going to tell you who else has been impressive this year, and they haven't really been impressive in quite a few years, in my opinion, honestly. But the fucking Anaheim Ducks, bro. The Anaheim Ducks are like, I don't know, 3-4 games ahead right now over the Vegas Knights. Vegas Knights have been pretty damn decent every year since they came into the NHL. So anyways, I just want to kind of talk a little bit right there about those guys. I love me some hockey. I really do. It's one of the best live sporting events you can go to if you've never been to a game, because it's so fast. Like trying to keep up with where that puck is wow. But anyways, I digress. And by the way, I think Chris. By the way, I think you're thinking of the Buffalo Sabres. By the way, in the 90s, were really good.
Right. I was about to say about the Vegas Knights. Haven't they been like a consistent contender when it came to the playoffs?
So since 2020, I think is when they came in. 2020, I want to say, or maybe it was 2018, 2019. But to answer your question, yes, they have been a contender for the Pacific, to win the Pacific and go on to the Stanley Cup every year since they came in. I think they won the Stanley Cup their first or second year in the NHL. I believe they're a 2-time Stanley Cup winner. Over the course of the last 5 years, it's been, especially in like the West, dude, it's been between them and the Stars. Every year they're one of the top 2 seeds, especially going to the playoffs every single year. So no, they're pretty decent, man. And again, I'm really surprised by Anaheim right now.
A tiny bit about hockey, just a little bit.
I was just looking at the plus minus ice times the top 5 plus minus ice times are all Colorado Avalanche players.
Dude,
They are just
right now, they're. I mean, here's. I love it, right? Because they are. Because hockey does ties like all the time. So out of 21 games, right? For example, the Stars. I'm looking at theirs right now. They're 21 games played. They're 13-5-3, and it's like, damn, that kind of sucks. But then you go, well, Colorado's the leader in the Central for them, and they're only at 14-1-5. So it's really hard to go, man, what's the game separation on something like this? It's hard to determine. But
and you're starting to see a new era for people that don't watch hockey or maybe haven't kept up with it. The Connors are taking over. Connor McDavid, he's been consistent the past 4 or 5 years as one of the top players. Connor Bedard is exactly who we thought he was. He had like a slow start to his rookie campaign, if I remember correctly, but he's picked it up. As far as points leaders go, they're not big goal guys. They're just out there. They're getting assists. They're getting goals. They're getting a little bit of everything. But we're seeing, coming to the end of the Sidney Crosby era, coming to the end.
I'm sorry. I thought we were still talking about Colorado Avalanche, and I'm like, they're not. What? No, what? My bad. Brain fart. I apologize. They got 84 goals right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're 14 goals ahead of the Stars in second place behind them. As a matter of fact, let me scan through here real quick. Let me find this. They lead the entire NHL, sir, in goals right now.
That is insane.
Yeah, Colorado Avalanche. They were good last year too. So for anybody that's watching and goes, "Oh, Colorado's been good for a couple of years." There's a good 10, 15-year stretch where Colorado Avalanche just kind of fell off a little bit. But over the last couple of years, they've come back. They've been someone to reckon with.
They score a lot of goals. They don't give up a lot of goals. They've perfected modern hockey to the point of we are going to be on attack. I wish I had the stat here. Generally, they bring up a stat like time on attack, TOA. I would guarantee that they'd be miles ahead of everybody else.
They have to be dominated.
Yeah. So Colorado, right? Yeah, they're so real quick so everybody knows they have the most goals for and the fewest goals against in the league. Now, Winnipeg is not. It's kind of weird. I mean, their record's actually decent. They're 12-7. They're in fourth right now in the Central, but they only have 64 goals for, but they got 52 goals against. So their defense is really sticking it out. Their goaltenders is really happening. So it's not a bad season for them right now.
Yeah, hockey is the one sport that I try my hardest to get into every year, and it's just
I love it.
Being close to Tampa. I'm only getting Florida Panthers games and Tampa Bay Lightning games, so it's tough to watch sometimes.
Hey,
does
can we start doing
have
Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna ask, does anybody have the numbers on it's kind of like how a quarterback has pass attempts? Does anybody have a number on shot attempts as a team?
No, I don't have it as the team. I could probably, if there's a certain player you're looking for, I'm almost certain I could probably find that for you. But shot attempts as a team, I'd have to do some real digging for that probably.
Because I think that would show more of the what you call it 60-40, the attack time. Because that right there would show time on attack. Yeah, because that right there would basically show how many times that this team has been offensive compared to them being on the defensive side of the rink. So I mean, what you're seeing is just a team being dominant. 84 goals is insane. I know little about hockey, and I know that it is not easy to score goals in hockey. So to have 84 goals and you're near the halfway point of the season, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't have I have a general list of shot attempts. I'm not sure exactly. I'm trying to decipher this real quick. So the Avalanche, their shooting percentage, which I'm assuming would be the goals compared to the shots, they are number
Sorry about that,
one.
gentlemen.
They score on. Oh no, sorry, they're number 4. They score on 12.4% of their shots.
Oh, who are we talking about?
The Avalanche.
Avalanche. Yeah, they're pretty awesome right now, dude.
They're effective. They take a lot of shots, but they also score a lot of goals. They're just really effective around the net. That's what made them so effective. And then also to go back to that time on attack thing, for people that don't necessarily watch hockey, and that's sometimes me, is you have your 2 blue lines. It's talking in the offensive third. It's not talking in the middle. It's not talking defensively, obviously. It's just as you're on the attack going forward in that last third. But I'm not seeing a stat for that, unfortunately.
Real quick. I think we should do a segment at the very end of our show, since we're getting right there a little bit over. I think we should do a shout-out segment.
Okay. So what do we want to shout out? Like a player, a person?
Whoever. Shout out whatever you want to shout out. Shout. Let it all out. If that's what you want to do. Here, for example, shout out to first and foremost my lovely wife. Love her so much. Shout out to my boss, Mikey Pooh, and then shout out to one of my coworkers here. He's Chucky Boy. He's a huge hockey fan. His sons play hockey, really good too. They play amateur right now. They I think it's amateur, pro or no, semi-pro. They play semi-pro. They're pretty good. He showed me some videos. It's pretty good stuff. His sons are really good. So shout out to the boys.
I have something on the shots taken. The Carolina Hurricanes lead the league with 683 shots taken. And the Colorado Avalanche are in second with 676 shots taken.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're first in the what's called the Metropolitan Division, which is kind of weird.
Oh, I hate the division.
The city division, yeah.
The Metropolitan Division.
Why? Because they play. You're talking about the Hurricanes, right? They play in what, Raleigh or something like that.
I mean, so here's everybody in the metropolitan area. I think I'm saying, yeah, metropolitan. It's Carolina, New Jersey, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh, Washington, Columbus, Philadelphia, and the Rangers.
Hey, you guys want to know who's number 3 with 653? The Flames.
Number 3%
with 653 shot attempts as a team. You're
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's kind of scary because they've only won 6 games. They're the bottom of the Pacific. The Pacific is, their division, not the ocean, which is weird. They're called the Pacific. Is Calgary on the west coast of Canada? Just wondering for a friend.
I didn't think so, but
is Edmonton
on the west coast?
Edmonton's pretty central Canada, right? Vancouver. I know Vancouver's on the west side of Canada. I know Vancouver Island, so I know Vancouver's over there. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, I guess Calgary and Edmonton are both in Alberta, which is the second most western province. And
well, going through all the wins and losses right now, I have to say that maybe it's a little biased, maybe, but right now the Central out of the West, yeah, they're going to be they're up there. So
yeah, Metropolitan sucks ass. Any division that's got the Flyers in it, the Flyers really haven't been good since they took Chris Pronger from the Blues many moons ago, and he played like immaculate defense for them. He could get forward, he could pass, he could shoot, play great defense. Since he left, we've been absolutely dog shit. We've had some of the best young talent that just has not done anything. Travis Konecny and a couple other guys. So that's all. That's my 2 cents on the Flyers. They're dog shit. The franchise is dog shit. They're never going to be good again.
All right, boys. What do y'all say we start bringing this thing to an end?
Yeah, let's do it.
Get
I'm
to the
going to
get to
shout
the
out. Let's see. Shout out my family, Emily, my beautiful girlfriend, and Oliver, my son, who you just saw here. He just turned 3 on Monday. And that's it. Fuck the rest of y'all.
Well, since he's doing it
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, I want to shout out my beautiful wife, Vivi, and my 3 beautiful girls that make me a 3-time girl dad. I like to call them the S girls, Sky, Scarlet, and Serenity. So you know what I'm saying. They make my day interesting every day, day in, day out. They're all just they have their own thing in their own little way, and it's amazing to just watch them grow up.
Well,
Stino,
boys, we miss Stino. Stino's taking care of them babies right now. That he told us that beginning of the
Yeah,
show that.
man, shit.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
oh,
what
is
I
he
was
back?
doing.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
That's what I was just doing, was taking care of them kids, man.
yeah, buddy.
Hey, man, I'm in a situation right now where it's just shout out them kids right now. That's it. You feel me? shout out the kids, man. I ain't gonna include nobody else but the kids today, boy.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you guys on Tuesday. I know I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
everybody that's involved. Shout out Peter in the comments today for the great
Yes, sir.
comments on Caleb Williams and the Bears.
Yes, sir.
Peace.